Now, the card on the bottom of the deck here is the Queen of Stones, Bear. Queen of Stones could represent for you a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn person, possibly female, not necessarily, though. It's more about the energy than the specific sex of the person involved. Excuse me. But the Queen of Stones is someone who's very comfortable with the earth and the rhythms of the earth. She's somebody who oftentimes is a manager. She's a practical person. She's got it going on. She may or may not have kids. If she doesn't have kids, she's probably got fur babies. But she's the queen of her castle at home, right? She's somebody who's well-grounded. Bear also speaks to rhythms and cycles, and especially 2-year cycles, because if you'll notice, she's got this baby here. Bears give birth to their offspring during their hibernation period. They give birth, and then for a while the babies are really small and weak, and they nurse. And when they get old enough, they emerge with their mother from their cave that they've been sleeping in. And they stay with the mother to learn how to forage and how to survive in the wild. They stay with her for about 2 years. So with that in mind, the bear can often indicate a 2-year cycle. So whatever that means for you, take it as it resonates. Now, jumping inside your reading, we have covering you is the 10 of arrows, which is instruction. So some of you may find yourself either being the instructor or the person being instructed. That could have anything to do with taking a new class. Maybe it's training people at your job. It could be learning some new skill, something like that, something like that. So this 10 of arrows, 10 of air, this is not a negative card as it can be in some of the other decks. 10 of arrows can be about backstabbing and betrayal and the rest. But this really has to do with just instruction, learning new things. You're either teaching somebody something or you're learning something. And if you're like most of us, you're probably the student, even if you are a teacher. You learn as much or more than your students do. So this is a cycle of that give and take, that occurs between a teacher and student right now. So this is the energy you're operating within generally. There is a period of reflection that you're coming into. It may have already begun for you, maybe not yet, but there is that sense of trying to learn from past mistakes, looking at the reflection in the mirror here, looking back at yourself. What do you like? What do you not like? Taking that assessment. Well, notice that there is still water. There's some kind of clouds going on in the background. We do see that she's holding the moon. So this is very much a lunar element, which is not unusual for a Cancer. And you guys do spend a great deal of time in reflection because it's just part of who you are. You want to eviscerate your belly button and its contents, the navel lint. You like to inspect that. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? We need to get a sense of who we are, what we've done, who we've been in the past. If we don't take the time out to really reflect on things, then we oftentimes don't know what is our next best choice, right? So we have to spend that time in reflection. This is a reminder, too, if you're not spending time in meditation and going within and having time for you, especially for some of you guys who may be busy mothers and the rest, or with your family life, or busy fathers, busy with the work, busy with all the rest of it, that you do need to have time for yourself, alone time, where you can do meditation, hot baths, journaling, jogging, whatever floats your boat, and get you back into that sense of understanding of who you are and what your overall purpose needs to be. We can't shave ourselves off of our things to do list, even though it seems like other people's needs may be more immediate than our own. We still have to always be careful to find the balance for our own peace of mind, just so that we can bring our best self to other people, that they have a good, they remember us better when we're gone if we've taken that time, because that's what keeps us from being snappy at other people, or from maybe being impatient with them, or what have you. Our best foot is set forward when we take time to do our own thing. This card here represents, the 7 of Wands represents clearance. So this is, in this position, it's something that you're thinking about. You're thinking about getting rid of things which no longer benefit. If you are the Queen of Stones, this could be about, firing people at work, or, having to clear the way there. Maybe it's about getting rid of things in your home life. Trying to make that decision. What do I keep and what do I get rid of? What's in my best interests? That sort of thing. With clearance can come a sense of mourning and so on. So it's very important that you take this time for reflection right now. Take the time for reflection so that you know what it is that you want to clear and what it is that you want to hold on to. Now, this is the card that's beneath you. And it may represent you. It's the Queen of Cups, which is the water sign person. So that very well could be you, Cancer. It could also be your Scorpio or Pisces brother or sister. Heron has a lot to do with seeking the sustenance out of the waters of life. We saw a heron here. What I mean by seeking sustenance in the waters of life is that they are long-legged waders, and they go into the water and they will see a fish go by, or in this case a water snake or anything like that they eat. They'll see it swimming by and they will just really quickly dart their head down and grab that fish or snake or whatever. This is about seizing opportunities when it occurs. They are able to draw out nutrients from their emotional life. When you go into this reflection period, know that you are sustaining yourself. You're not wallowing in your misery. You're really not. You are drawing sustenance when you go into this space, and it's okay. In fact, it's highly encouraged for you to do that, especially as a Cancer sign. We see here, now this bird can take flight, so they're good with their mind. They have a good intellect as well, and they tend to lay their eggs either on a tree. It's very impressive, or they do it on the shoreline. They have rookeries, a lot of these birds. But the idea is that they still, they have strong connection with the elements of air, water, and earth, both. I mean, all three. So it really is a good time for grounding and creating your own sense of balance. And even though they have skinny legs like that, you don't need huge pillars to remain in balance. There's finding balance on what you have. You can do that. You don't need to have an excess of, I want to say, meat on your legs to find that balance. But there has been some kind of struggle in your past, some kind of anxiety. There's been unrest, whether at home or at work. Take it as it resonates. And you're trying to figure out what that is that you need to do. Right? This clearance is in the, it's on your mind. It may come to pass, maybe not. We're looking at, actually, this should be in this position here. This reads from right to left in this deck. So we've moved from the struggle to the point of reflection, and then a possibility of a clearance that is to come. Something like that is on your mind. You're trying to figure out what to do in that situation, and it may be uncomfortable for you to make that. Sometimes Cancers can be people pleasers. And that's any sign. I'm not even trying to pick on Cancers, I promise. But, if we don't really get in there and figure out what it is that we need to do, we can struggle with anxiety and other kinds of issues in that way. But taking that time to yourself, instruction may be you seeking consultation, counsel, wisdom from others so that you have a better sense of what it is that you need to do. Taking this time will help you make a more solid decision. And also in meditation, that's where we can let go of a lot of our struggles, our anxiety. Now, the future card is the Ten of Cups, which is happiness. This is emotional and spiritual fulfillment, happiness, happy life, joy, contentment, happy family. This is really a wonderful, wonderful card. And as your future orientation card, this is fabulous. This really is fabulous. It looks like your reflection is going to pay off. You will clear some of the things out that are no longer serving or benefiting you, separating that wheat from the chaff, in a sense, to be able to come to a level of happiness. So it really is a positive thing for you here. Now, the card representing you is the Three of Wands. And this is about waiting for your ships to come in. You've put something in motion and you're waiting for it to come back on you. Fulfillment has to do with this energy that whatever it is coming in. It's not It's not a question mark. It is, in fact, coming in. And this, I think, has to do with a lot of your happiness here. Even though this is fire and this is water, they do balance one another, right? And in this, we also see health. We've got the staff with the two snakes wrapped around it, which is a symbol for health. You can see that on things like the American Medical Association. Some of their insignia has a caduceus like that. But we see this in... You are able to get to that place where you put forth your good effort and you will be rewarded. You will reap the fruits of that. Now, this King of Arrows in your environment card, the Lynx is very intuitive and kind of lunar energy, although ironically, arrows has to do with your air sign. So this could be your Gemini, your Aquarius, your Libra person, could be the King of Arrows. Doesn't have to be male, but it could possibly be male. Lynx is a mountain lion, a Canadian, a little bit larger than a bobtail cat. In the mountains and so on. But I digress. But this is about intuition. This is about clear thinking, clear vision. It's about making right decisions. Sometimes you do have to do what you have to do, right? Sometimes you have to be that arrows. That arrows is called swords in other decks. Sometimes you have to cut things out. You have to clear things out that no longer benefit or that are out of time, that are no longer timely and beneficial. And this kind of speaks to the knowledge of what it is that you need to do. He is in this lunar energy in spite of, cats we do associate with the lunar, even though arrows would be a masculine sign, and we tend to associate that with solar energy. But this has to do with the clarity of your vision and the knowledge of what you need to do, even if it's not pretty. And that is reflected in both of these cards, that you kind of have a good sense of what it is you need to do. Now, hopes and fears, the Hermit card. This is a sense of being alone in a way. So if you've been struggling, if it's a family choice, if you're trying to make a decision in a marriage relationship, it could be that you fear being alone. And this card here is associated with December. And the idea of going within, spending time in this reflection or meditation. It may not be a quick trip through the reflection, even though this happiness to come, can be very positive for you. It may be that you're fearing the lone part of that, but you don't need to be. Our little Wren friend here is a good. He's a harbinger of happy home life and success in that. And this 10 of Cups is very much about happy home life. So whatever it is that you're fearing, it may simply be an anxiety that you're having. Don't worry about being alone. You will be very successful here. Even in this environment, if you have to make the tough decisions and lay it down, take that sword and cut out things that don't benefit you. You see here, you've got this, you have the offspring right here. Now, some of you may not have children in that sense. But you still will have companionship. You still will have friends and other supportive relationships to help nurture you through this process. We started off even with the Queen of Stones. These guys don't look altogether too different, in my opinion. They both have the young. And that's symbolic of the new things that you're giving birth to, whether it's literal or a metaphor for some project or some new thing that you're starting in your life. Now, your final outcome card is the Knight of Arrows. Arrows is, again, with the air signs. That's going to be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, potentially. But a hawk is someone with the vision to make things happen. They go out into the world. It's a communication. It's a message that comes into play. That may resolve some of these issues here. Maybe you've been struggling because you feel like you need to clear something away, and a new message comes in for you, and that brings you great joy and happiness because it makes the decision easier for you. Helps promote the fulfillment of what it is that you wanted, helps you move forward in your vision of what you need to have happen. Helps all of this come to a healthy and happy cycle, a completion of a 2-year cycle, or the beginning of a brand new 2-year cycle. Take it as it resonates. But either way, very positive outlook for you, I would say. Do check your insecurity, anxiety with that 8 of Arrows card. That is an element that's moving into your past, however. So it could be that as things are becoming more and more resolved, the circumstance will figure itself out without any interference from you. So be careful that you're not engaging in any needless anxiety along the way. Now, I am shuffling our Angel Tarot cards to see if there's any wisdom, guidance, help. All right. And this one came out here. Interesting and awesome, because now we have this card twice. I will show you what I mean. Okay, so the card we drew is the Three of Fire, and that's the card representing you, the Three of Wands. Both of these are fire signs, and the number 3 as well. And the card that we just drew out of the Angel deck by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, it states on the front of it, abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. Congratulations, this is your golden time of celebration and success. However, it's not the moment to rest yet. You need to keep going with the next project. So step back and review all that you've done and then create a blueprint for the future. You need to look at things with an eye to the long term. You probably feel good about how far you've come, but no resting on your laurels. It's important to keep the fire of enthusiasm burning for the heights you might still attain. Patience may be required while you await results from your previous decisions. Use this time to explore the possibilities for how to promote your business or talents. Additional meanings of this card include managing people, a thriving business, self-satisfaction, seeking wise counsel, taking an important job, and business travel. So very nice how that ended on the very card that represented you.